Hello and welcome to this special interview series on ET Edge Insights. Today on this special segment we have with us Mr. Anand Ramakrishnan. He is the Managing Director of EQ India. Mr. Ramakrishnan is going to talk about revolutionizing GCCs in the digital era. So let's hear it from Mr. Ramakrishnan. Mr. Ramakrishnan, thank you for doing this with ET Edge Insights. It's a pleasure to host you.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for coming.
Let's begin by asking you, EQ India has been delivering mission critical services to the global market at a time when there is geopolitical volatility, a digital transformation is happening. How do you see the role of GCCs evolving maybe in the last 5 years or so?
If you look at any organization in any industry, there are three axes that drive the success or failure of an organization. One is the client, the second is the internal profitability and the revenue, and the third is the delivery excellence.
Right.
Until a few years back, most GCCs were only expected to deliver on the delivery excellence and not so much with respect to clients or profitability, etc. Profitability was an offshoot because India was considered a low-cost location. So automatically, we added to the bottom line of the organization. But in the last 5 years, a lot of this has changed. So if you look at any GCC today, we affect all three axes positively. We are expected to play a part with respect to our clients and handling client requirements and so on. The second is we are an integral part of the strategy with respect to sales and cost. And the third is, of course, the continued delivery excellence. So this is where EQ India is as well, right? So we are part of all of the three axes that EQ delivers as an organization. Insofar as digital transformation, most organizations today are going through digital transformation, and so is EQ. And by virtue of the GCC being a very integral part of the organization, we are actively involved in the digital transformation as well. I think the third question was about global volatility, right? If you ask me, when there is global volatility, it makes a lot of sense to spread your risks across geographies. And hence, with the kind of talent that is available in India and of course the cost structures that are available in India, it makes sense to have a center in India, right? Because if you look at it purely from a business continuity standpoint, if you're a company that's operating in the Western world, you would rather have a office in India that's running. Or India is a fairly stable country with, as I said, enough and more skills and technology in place. So, there's no better place than India to have your GCC in.
Right. Very interesting thoughts like, you've put forward. Now, India is no longer just talent. So there's a lot of things that is happening.
Right.
While GCCs are evolving, I mean, obviously with, like you talked about, digital transformation, AI, data analytics, customer requirements are also evolving. So how is EQ India tapping these areas to ensure that, the productivity is seamless in the global market?
So AI is obviously the most spoken about topic. We are no different from any other organization. We are doing pilots around AI. But I would say we don't adopt technology for technology's sake.
Right.
Because we are in the shareholder management business. We are the leading share registry. We hold client balances. We really can't afford to mess around with technology, and we cannot experiment. We need to be absolutely sure, mostly from a cybersecurity perspective, that what we are adopting is absolutely safe, secure, and cannot be hacked, so to speak, right? So we need to make sure that we have the best and the brightest technology, but within the framework of our information security. And that's also expected of us from the regulators in the ET, US and UK. So given that aspect, we are running pilots around artificial intelligence. We do a lot of analytics. We do a lot of digital work, particularly in the area of client experience. So at the end of the day, we have 40 million plus shareholders.
Right.
So it's their experience that counts for us. And hence we continue to invest in those technologies. And in India, our tech professionals, our product engineering team is very, very actively involved in all of these. But just to reiterate, whatever technology we adopt, it's after we pass through a significant amount of cybersecurity tests that we do.
Right. So a very critical point you've brought forward is, the use of best and the brightest technology, and the kind of workforce you have to deal with this. However, skilling becomes a very important factor in this.
Yeah.
Skilling, upskilling. So on that front, what is EQ India doing to ensure that its workforce is robust and they're prepared for the future?
Given the fact that, again, ours is a very specialized industry,
Right.
it's very difficult for us to get skills ready-made from outside.
True.
And given the nature of our engineering college curriculum and our other college curriculum, while they have all the basic skills, I think the domain skill is where we come in. And so we have a fairly robust internal training model.
Right.
One is, of course, online. The second is tutor-based within EQ. And we also have subject matter experts who constantly keep training the teams. And in addition to that, we allow external certifications and so on and so forth. Skilling is one area where we give a lot of importance.
Right.
We have a huge internal learning and development team spread across the UK, India, and the US. And that learning and development team keeps providing, we have mandatory courses and optional courses. So we almost run like a university to make sure that our teams are skilled. And we don't stop anyone from learning anything new. For example, we subscribe to LinkedIn Learning, and that's a huge, vast treasure trove of learning.
Yeah.
So we allow our teams to, our colleagues to learn whatever interests them. And, from a learning environment perspective, I think we provide that environment, because half the job is done when you provide the environment. Then, the young minds will automatically start wanting to
Very
know more,
pertinent point.
right? So unless you create that environment of wanting to learn, you will working against the tide to actually get people to learn. So we have created that environment, and we continue to focus on it. Yeah.
Very important point, instilling that culture of innovation and learning
Right.
within the organization. If there's one big leap in terms of, say, technology strategy for EQ India in the next couple of years, what will it be?
I think we've already taken that leap. For example, if we look at the terminology within EQ, we no longer talk about India as offshoring, movement to a different location, etc.
Right.
India is just another location among the larger scheme of things. So it's no longer treated differently, right? That to me itself is a big win. When we are talking a 5-year plan for EQ, it's just a 5-year plan. We're all contributing to how we will look at clients, how we will adopt technology, how we will do, how we will manage the internal processes, how we will manage risks, how we will put in controls. And there is no more discussion of, can India do it, can't US do it, all of that.
Equal stakeholder.
Absolutely. So
Right.
for us now, we are only focused on what are the centers of excellence we have, and the location becomes irrelevant completely.
Right.
We're just looking at strategy from, as I said, from a client perspective, from a delivery perspective, from a tech perspective, and say, we're just going to do this, and then the strategy becomes operations. So we're no longer, even talking about India as a captive and so on and so forth.
Right.
So the GCC terminology is more in India terminology for ease of understanding of what we do, but within our organization, it's no longer treated separately. As far as strategy goes, again, from our industry standpoint, there are a lot of changes that are happening. So the markets are dynamic. You're well aware.
Yes.
With the changes in the government in the US and UK. We are expecting the stock markets to pick up substantially. So there will be significant amount of growth. Plus, we are also in the process of, we've recently done a couple of very interesting acquisitions globally.
Right.
So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And obviously, when you do a lot of acquisitions, there's a lot of integration work too.
Right.
And India is at the forefront of that integration as well.
Right.
So I think the next 2 or 3 years will be very interesting for us.
Yes. So in such an interesting and exciting times, as a leader in this GCC, I would say, space, how do you keep yourself motivated, and what advice will you give to leaders who are planning to explore into this ecosystem?
So what motivates me is every day is a new day. There's something happening all the time. As I said, within our organization, we have acquisitions that are running. We have our 5-year plan that's being developed, and so on and so forth. So that should be motivation enough. But having said that, I think I get a lot of motivation from the teams we have.
Right.
Because we have our average age in EQ is less than 30. So that's how
young workforce.
Yeah, that's how young all our colleagues are. So there's a lot of energy in the organization.
Right.
And I firmly believe that as long as you create an environment where you're challenging people, but you're encouraging collaboration, and you ensure that success is a team effort, I think that should be good enough. And of course, in today's world, the job of a leader is to expect the unexpected, because there is so much of turmoil, and there's so many things happening across the world. You should be really in a position to anticipate the unanticipated, so to speak. Right. So I think that's the key challenge for a leader today.
Right.
My advice to other young leaders would probably be put the client first. Right, understand what the clients want, and the rest of the organization will pretty much follow through. And most importantly, be human-centric.
Right.
As long as you take care of your colleagues, you should be good. So the client will give you the requirements, and the colleagues will give you the answers.
Right.
So you're just you just stitch things together, and that's about it. Right. So that's all I would say.
On that note, Mr. Ramakrishnan, thank you very much for the wonderful insights. It's always been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.